Austin for Athilates.com, Stevie for Athilates.com, or Austin at CBD. Right now we want to briefly touch on our core principles. We have 7 different principles that we're going to talk about in a lot more detail coming up on Athilates.com, but right now we just want to kind of address them and give you a brief introduction. So number 1, our most important one we talk about is core connection.
Core connection, the way I think about core connection is actually using all of the muscles in your core, which includes your abdominals, your obliques, and even your back, to create a stable base for any movement pattern that you want to pursue.
Yes. Then we have an interesting one that we're going to talk about, elongation, and that is the warrior pose, the stretching out rather than going up or down, but you're going to reach across and extend muscles to create more power and strength and through your spine as well in different positions. Then we're going to have opposition, which is one of your favorites.
Yeah, I love opposition, especially when I'm doing lower ab work, and the idea is that as my legs are moving out, my lower abs are pulling up and away, and in fact what they end up doing is creating great strength and working with each other as opposed to against each other.
Yes. Then you put those together, you got to have one very crucial ingredient, and that is the pelvis tuck. And when we say pelvis tuck, we're talking about turning your glutes on. The easiest way to do that is to have your feet straight in really everything you do. You want to have feet straight, walking, in the gym.
So none of this.
Yeah, you don't want to have the duck feet. Never have your feet turned out.
What about none of this?
None of this? Yeah, you want to have feet forward. You know, I've been reading a lot about the fascia in the body and how the fascial lines connect, and when you have the feet forward, it really turns it on and creates that stability, allowing you to squeeze your glutes, keep everything turned on, and then you can work out all this core connection stuff. So pelvis tuck, whether you're in the grocery store, whether you're waiting in line to see a movie, whether you're working out. So that's a very important one. We put all those together, and we have alignment.
Alignment is key, right? Because you stack everything up correctly. It's amazing how much load your body can bear when everything's aligned. But when you're not aligned, out forward on a press, it's killing your shoulders. That's not good. So you want to be everything stacked up and aligned properly. All the different techniques combined create proper alignment. Yeah,
and that requires you to create, external rotation in the shoulders, and that's another key we talk about too. And that's one of our principles is turning your lats on, activating your lats, shoulders back in a lot of these movements. And what that ultimately means is it's part of the alignment situation where you're putting your shoulders back of their sockets in the best position possible to do work without losing power. So you have all of that, and you're still missing what a lot of disciplines will call the most crucial ingredient, especially if you go back throughout martial arts history. We're talking about breathing. So breathing is our last but not least principle, and that is a whole
it might be the hardest one of all, actually, because we sort of take it for granted, our breath pattern. When you're actually locked in and stacked properly, and then under physical duress, whether it's sprinting, whether it's overhead squatting, breath becomes very, very difficult to maintain the connection while you're breathing in and out. For me, I've been doing this for 5 years, it's still the hardest thing to figure out.
It's the hardest, and I think it's something people ignore. They go take a trendy yoga class, and they ignore the breathing part, which is so crucial, and which is the real practice of yoga, because they just want to do the workout, and everyone wants to, just challenge themselves, because that's how we've just become so accustomed to, since we're little kids in PE class, like it's the more work that you do, the better athlete you are, when in reality, the better connected you are, the better athlete you're going to be. At least at Athilates.com, that's what we're going to hopefully, open people's minds to and start connecting.
It's absolutely true. The better connected, the less injuries you're going to have, the better performer you're going to be.
A better athlete.
If you take our courses, better six-pack you're going to ultimately have as well.
So you look good, feel good, perform better.
For life.
For life. That's the Athilates way. Athilates.com.
Intern.